The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound chamber. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, teams and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. So hot to death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyze it with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people starting five. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
This week it's just the three. We're gonna figure out if we got what y'all need this week. But what up, everybody? The boy, the man, that DJ named H5, your mom's favorite fat guy from deepest darkest Africa. And we back with the newest episode of the Start Five. As always, hit that box. 20% off your order using the code STARTING5 at hooksrub.com and 10% off with our affiliates over at W. Well, I got reconsider. I got to think about that W one, Tyrone, because they want you to be an affiliate, but they also want you to buy the product instead of them saying, "Hey, we approve you as an affiliate. Here's some product on us." But that's another discussion for another day. We ain't got to go into that. What up, Ty?
Not much. I'm chilling. I may or may not be on vacation this week, but not a voluntary one. But John types on some weirdo stuff to me. But I don't care. I mean, that's why I'm in the union. That's why I can always leave that company and find a new one. So I'm a little stressed. Money be acting funny. But other than that, man, I'm still feeling good. My spirits are still high. What's up, O?
What up, fellas? I apologize for the background noise. My AC blowing. I try to do without AC, man. It's killing me, man. But yeah, yo, great show. I'm looking for a great show today. Y'all ever realize? I don't know if we've ever acknowledged it, right? But summertime is just trash for sports, right? And then around mid-August, late August, that's when we get blitzed with just nothing. But we get blitzed with I don't know if you guys are into soccer like that, but I'm a huge EPL soccer fan, so I get hit with that. You get hit with college football. Still, you got baseball winding down. It's so I've been looking forward to this part of the year right now, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize it, but it's, do I want to consume it all? Is there a need to consume it all? The answer is no. The answer is no. And I mean, Tyrone and I, we was just talking some sports entertaining stuff, but on the wrestling front, there's so much freaking wrestling that goes on within a year that if I want to watch some shit, it almost sometimes doesn't matter when I watch it unless I'm trying to follow a certain story. But then if you're following a story in something, you can go back and rewind. So there's a lot of wrestling that I don't watch on a weekly basis, but I'll tune into some shit that I want to see. So it's good to have the abundance, but you're still like a buffet. Like you could choose what you want when you want, unless you need to watch shit live.
Right. Yeah. That's my thing.
I don't know. I can't grasp the concept of not watching shit live. Like I can't grasp that concept. I can't do it at all. Like if for some reason I'm not home or for some reason there's no way I can watch the Super Bowl, I won't never see that Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Because I'm not watching it after the fact. I can't sit down and watch something that I know the results of, and I can't sit down and kind of like concentrate on something because it's for me, it's the moments of the game. And if I already know those moments, then I feel like I could do something else. So like
If you already know the end results.
yeah, so for me, I need to watch it live. Like if I don't watch it live and somebody already told me what happened, I'm probably not going to be able to sit there and check that shit
And
out.
that answer right there clearly explains why when talk I'm not going to go into wrestling, but why we are a 180 difference in how we feel about shit. Because just what you said, you were in the sports and the shits like that for the moments. Me, I'm in it for the game. So I could know the results. I could, oh, that's the big play that happened. Yeah, but what about the other X's and O's and every little other thing that happened that led to that point? That's me. Fuck just the big moment. The big moment is the ooh, this cool surprise. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. But to me, the interesting is the intricacies all in between. And obviously, oh, not because you in the middle on the camera right now, but like, where are you at this? I kind of feel you're a mix of both. I
Yeah,
think we are all kind of a mix of both to a T, to a point. But I seen
I'm
the
gonna tell
difference, Tyrone.
I'm gonna tell you, right? Like, say for instance, now the Super Bowl or Game 3 of the finals of the NBA Finals. If I miss that game, I'm still gonna watch it, but like on social media or whatever, I'm going dark. I'll turn my phone off because I get all the ticker you know moments on my phone. I'll turn my phone off. Nothing. I don't want to know the end results. But I watch the game in its entirety. After I watch the game, I'll probably go on YouTube and watch different highlights, from different perspectives. So yeah, especially like when the Knicks were going on that run, I must have watched that game, each game about 2 3 times. You know,
Here, here's
so
where here's where I'm sometimes in the middle. Like if there's a like say there's a game 3 of the NBA, like the game 5, a crucial game 5, and the Lakers is in a crucial game 5, and I missed the game. I can't go dark. My mentality goes, I gotta know if the Lakers won. I gotta know if the Lakers won. So as soon as I know that game's over, I will check the score. And then based on the score, I'll go, okay, I gotta see what happened. And then that's when I'll watch the game. So it's like I gotta see what happened. So I can check the score and I can know the score and know if the Lakers won or lost. But I can't see what happened before I watch that game. You know what I mean? I can't watch no highlights. I can't have nobody tell me how they lost or whatever. So I can see the score and I can know who won and who lost. And then it's like, okay, I gotta watch the game.
And
Whereas
that's where I'm a person who's locked in. Like when I get locked into ESPN, like I sometimes again, unless it's my team, I don't care. Sometimes I have to watch to watch another team's full game because I could just okay, these were the highlights. All right, cool. That was the score. Cool. Now, once a channel like ESPN gets into the conversational parts of games, and you already know they're only talking about three or four different teams. They're not talking about everybody. That's when, if I want to go check for further, then I'll go and check for what I want when I want because I don't need their opinions on just the Cowboys, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Yankees, and and whoever may be hot at the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that all the time.
yeah,
I do. I need that all the time because I don't know why. I don't know where's the narrative going. I don't know where is the narrative that that we got to talk about teams that ain't hot. Like I don't care about the Browns if the Browns ain't winning. Like nobody cares about the Browns. They're irrelevant. But like I like that it's been
the
talked
Brown
about
the
teams.
Browns the Browns are a poor example though. By the way, right
Well,
now.
Right.
I'm just saying they used to be. I'm just saying like I don't want to hear about teams that are not going to mean nothing when the time comes for it to mean something. If a team have a good game, like if a bad team beats a good team, yeah, okay, that's the story. But other than that, what are you going to talk about? Like when the Lions was losing all the time, we ain't nobody care about the Lions. It was like, okay, the Lions come up. Lions lost. We know that. So the only time it really was a story is if the Lions won. So no, I don't have to care about the Lions. The only team, that's why I keep
Nah,
telling everybody. That's why I keep
we,
telling everybody. The Cowboys, no matter how much we want to admit it, no matter how much we want to hate on them, the Cowboys is America's team. Because the Cowboys, whether they win, whether they lose, whether they shitty, whether they good, they still capture the headlines for whatever reason they capture the headlines for. And that's why I
but
always say Cowboys is America's team. Because they could be
they
bad,
always
good, they gonna be in the
they
headlines.
they always capture the headlines just because of the brand Jerry Jones, not because that they're fucking mediocre on the field. Tom Brady and the Patriots was the same way, but it is because they won a lot. The Chiefs are the same way now, it's just because they won a lot. But I agree with you to a point of like, yeah, the bad teams in the league don't need to have the most coverage. But if the fucking Cowboys are a shit team in the league that season, they don't need the most coverage either. And
Agreed.
the way that
That's
and the way that they cover them, Tyrone, is they the way that they'll cover them would be on a but when will they win? But when will they turn over the hump? What is Jerry gonna Jones gonna do next? That you mentioned the Lions 0-16. I think we was interested because that was like a yo, we've never seen this before. Also, and
It was
yes,
still a story.
yes, it was wow. We never seen this before. Somebody go this bad, but let's also see if they're gonna finally get that win. So that balance, yes, is intriguing. But when the Cowboys are bad, there's nothing intriguing about them. Who the fuck cares? Like
and
shouts out to Micah Parsons, who we could go to this because this is something we missed within the week off. Micah Parsons requested that trade. How do y'all feel about that? I know he ain't gonna get it, but what y'all thinking?
I've I've always been the one to say it, and I'll still continue to say it, that I don't think these players ever really have leverage because it's really nothing they can do. If they ask for a trade and the team don't trade them, they can't really do shit. And the holdout sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. The new holding shit sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. But for real, I don't see where they say Michael Parsons has all this leverage. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got leverage because you're the best team on the defense the Cowboys need you to play, but they haven't won without you anyway. So I mean, they can say no. And what can you do if a team actually says no? What can you do if a team actually doesn't trade you? Now you either gonna cost yourself money, cost yourself time to showcase yourself. You fuck yourself anyway. So it's like, yeah, you might can think you have leverage, but it still depends on whether that ownership feels your value. And if they don't feel your value, it's really not much you could do about it.
I mean, is there any ever leverage in when it comes to NFL contracts? Like that's the part. I
That
mean,
that part.
right. I mean, the fact that there's no guaranteed contracts. You have players that hold out for a year for half the season, and like you said, they're still forced to come back with their tail between their legs half the time. It's. I mean, he's showing that no matter how good you are, you're still you still have to be forced to come back. Me personally, I wish that if he gets traded, somebody let him get traded out to the AFC or somewhere out of my division because I just don't want to face him twice a year. But that's just me. But yeah, man. I mean, he's top five in his position, and it's I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough for him to get that deal.
Isn't it ironic how I said, yo, I'd be tired about Cowboys coverage? It was the first thing I bring up.
What?
I mean, they're always a story, man. They're
Right.
they're the
And they
Lakers of
are.
NFL football. They're the Lakers of NFL.
They're not the Lakers because
Good or
They
bad,
got
we have
they
got to talk
nah,
about it, man.
they got recent championships.
they're not the Lakers because the Lakers win. Okay,
I
the
said
Lakers be
The
winning, bro. What
Lakers
you talking about?
The Lakers got championships that came out on Blu-ray and digital only. The Cowboys only got championships that came out on VHS and
VHS.
Betamax
Here,
and fucking
here-
and Betamax.
here's the thing, though. I don't get, and I know teams do this. I know players do this all the time. Requesting a trade. Requesting a trade sounds like something different than what you're saying because they go on these interviews and they be like, I really enjoy it here. I like playing for this team, but I need my money. And then they go and request a trade, which basically says you don't want to play for this team no more. And then you got to come back out and say, no, I still want to play for the team, but they're not giving me enough money to play for the team. It's like it's kind of like it's weird to me.
But see, a situation like him, though, it's not the money. Well, it is part the money because they can't afford to pay him. But he also openly talks about wanting to win. Like he wants to win, and clearly the Cowboys ain't a winning situation. So if you ain't a winning situation, James Harden it. Give me my money.
No,
I'll
man.
come to you, pay me.
That's the other funny thing, though. That's the other funny thing too. If I want to win, I'm request if it's about me and I'm on a team that I feel like can't win, and the team is losing and they making me look bad. I'm balling out of control. I'm playing the best I can on a losing ass team. Then fuck that deal. We're not making no deal. I don't want no deal. I want out. If I was so concerned about winning, I don't want no deal. I want to leave. So now you can pay me to be a loser. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
it's either the money or it's the winning. Sometimes you can't have both. Carmelo Anthony made it clear that he wanted the money. When Carmelo Anthony was going through his little thing with them, he made it clear I wanted the money. He didn't go to teams because he thought he was going to win. He wanted the teams that paid him the most. Carmelo Anthony said he wanted the money, and that's how. And you can say that, and I'm fine with that. If you want the money, you want the money. If you want to win, you want to
I'm
win.
sure when he came to the Knicks, he really wanted a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But because like the thought of that, like it brings me to a meme that I seen within these 2 weeks, and somebody they asked the question, I believe, I think they said like James Harden made close to 600 million in his career. Would you want to make the 600 million over whatever the length of his career was, or would you trade that all for one championship?
Uh,
Or I think they compared it. I think they compared it in both ways. In Yeah, they compared it like that. And I know my answer to the person who posted the meme, I was like, I mean, it looks like he still won anyway. If you could make that much, and I'm probably a little bit off on the 600. It might be like 300 to 400 million. But I mean, in some respects, as a pro athlete, I know everybody goes in to try to win the championship. But
well,
if you made this much money throughout your whole career, like, did you really lose?
yeah. So here's how I break it down. You win in life. You are definitely winning in life if you can make $600 million and be a loser. That is outstanding because you can make $600 million and not ever bring a team a championship. You killing it. You winning in life, but you ain't a winner. You a loser. You a loser though, but you winning in life. But here's my thing. So let me say this: 600 million, no championships. You looked at as a loser on the court, but you a winner in life. But if you cut that 600 million in half, let's just say you only made 300 million, but you won 2 NBA championships. I would take that because 600 million, yeah, that's a lot of money, that's a lot of life. But I'm 300 million, you ain't doing bad. You ain't
You
on the
took
street.
you
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 still
you
doing
you
good.
you straight up took my answer.
I would say, well, I mean, if you put it in the frame of 300 million, you beat both games.
So why
Now,
not?
if you had a career where you only made 50 million, but got but got the chance. I mean, either way, I'm sorry. If you're making double, if you're making 7, 8 digits a year, and you're playing a game that you love, like, I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, you win regardless, in my opinion. You ain't going to work regular like us and paying more in taxes than somebody like you under, the
Yeah.
orange Cheetos Trump new plan or whatever. But like, I'm sorry, give me 500,000 a year to go fucking play football, and I played for fucking 20 years. I think I won because I
Yeah.
got fucking paid 6 digits to play a game.
Oh,
That's right. That's like okay. James Harden, like you said, making whether it's 300 million, 600 million, after a certain amount, it's all the same to us poor folks, right? But
Right.
then you have then you had somebody like Boris Diaw, who's probably made about 30 million a year and won about 4 rings, you know, and but like a fan, the regular fan is not gonna remember the Boris Diaw. So they remember James Harden. James
Right.
Harden's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. But he'll always have that asterisk, just like Charles Barkley, just like Patrick Ewing. He'll be in that fraternity, which to the NBA former NBA players doesn't really bother them as much as it bothers us that they never won
No.
ring.
I don't, yo, and that right there, I think is the real question because we see, I'm sure players from our era, it 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 probably bothers them a little bit, but they done moved on. You get what I'm saying? Like, because
Hmm.
they have the opportunity to move on from it. But us as fans, we live with Patrick Ewing's finger roll forever.
Yes,
We live with Charles Smith forever.
yeah.
yes,
Tyrone has to live with the bubble championship, whether you call it the bubble championship or not. You live with that forever. But I think most of the athletes, it's like, okay, I got one. Now let's get another one and keep getting another one and keep getting another one. And I slightly say I understand that because when my job had the team and I played, I was I played. I told y'all I got to play in Lincoln Financial Stadium, but I walked in that bitch like not like holy shit. I'm in an NFL stadium. It's I'm here for business. Let's fucking work, and then after I'll think about the wow. And that's how I talk about like wow. Yeah, I did that shit, but the game we fucking lost. So in the moment, I'm thinking about the game. I let the game move on and then embrace so maybe some of those players they do embrace it, like a Charles Barkley. He got to hear about it every week on TV and shit.
hmm
But I'm sure also in life he's good with it because can we really say these people are losers? We can't call Charles Barkley a loser. He's a fucking gold medalist. We can't call Patrick Ewing a fucking loser. He's won championships and is a gold medalist. Now didn't win championships in the NBA, but he still won in basketball. Like you know what I'm saying? Like people still win at other levels the way, yeah. Yes, I know Tyrone, you want the ultimate prize. Everybody does who gets into these sports. But you gotta kind of learn to be good with it after the fact, especially when you
yeah,
making that great money. What up, Brian?
These these athletes care like shit. They want to lie and act like they don't care like shit, but they care like shit. I just did a podcast episode on my show about ring culture, and ring culture never goes away. It's constantly brought up, and they bring in these guys that won rings to talk about it, and they bring in these guys that didn't win rings to talk about it, and you can tell they feel some type of way, bro. So even though they want to act like it, and even though yeah, we know in real life they're winners, we know in real life I can't. I never made it to the NBA, so who am I to talk shit about these dudes? But the conception is if you didn't win no championship, you was a fucking loser. And them guys, it eats them guys up. They won in life. Yeah, they can go on to other things. Yeah, they got money. Yeah, they got wives. They got beautiful lives and all that and all that. But every time the ring culture thing comes up, these guys come out and they show their true colors. And these motherfuckers be hurt,
But
bro. Tracy
I think
McGrady especially.
I think it's a little rough though to say that they know they losers because
No,
I don't think that they look at themselves. They're not the way you hit it is like you fucking loser like that type like nah you didn't win the championship but are you really a loser? You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say, if you was one of those that ended up in 30 for 30 broke, for the moment, you look like a loser, but how did you bounce back in life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I,
you said ring culture is a real thing in New England, Brian said.
I think what we're also missing here too, man, is about, I would say 90%, nine guys out of all the sports out of 10 actually love what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And they're playing a game and getting paid for it. You know,
Right.
it's I see I say 9 times out of 10 because I realize now at a later age that there's some guys that they're just good at it and it's a profession to them. You know, so yeah, man. Most of these guys they're doing what they love. You know, and
Yeah.
they're getting paid handsomely
Because
for it.
it reminds me of this name, the what O just said, Tyrone. Fucking Titus O'Neil. I believe no, it wasn't Titus O'Neil, my bad. Moose in TNA. He made the NFL. I think he played offensive tackle. But he said he didn't love football.
Mm.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
And and a lot of guys when you talk to a lot of guys who retire, and you be like, man, he retired at 37, 38. He really could have played a few more years. And them guys tell you like, nah. At a certain point, I hated getting up in the morning. I hated going to the tour days. I
Yeah.
I hated all the work that it took. The guys go, hey, if I could just go play on Sundays every Sunday, I would have played forever. But I don't want to go to practice during the week. I don't want to go do nothing during the week. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the grind of actually doing the job kind of pissed them guys. They had no more fun. It pissed them off. So yeah, it comes to a point where you're like, man, I'm not enjoying this shit no more. And
Yeah. Good.
now it's a
I
job.
I just seen the interview clip of Jermaine O'Neal explaining how he fell out of love with basketball because he seen how the NBA as the league didn't properly take care of these players, and the Indiana Pacers themselves as an organization didn't take care of him and everybody else who was involved with the court case behind the malice shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like things can happen to you where you can turn out of love with the game, and then that's what you turn into. It's like, yo, fuck that championship. Well, look at my bank account.
Word.
Fuck that championship, but look at my bank account.
But also, we got to understand that when we talk in real life and we talk in sports, it's almost two different things. It's two different entities. It's like two different worlds. Like
Right,
I said,
right.
I could go on my podcast all day and say, I hate LeBron James. And RG3 can say Caitlin Clark hates Angel Reese. We can make those statements, and hate is a bad word, and we can say that people hate each other. I can say I hate LeBron James. But I ain't talking about life. I'm talking about sports. So that's the same thing I feel about losing. No, anybody that made it to the NBA, and if I don't care how bad you are, I don't care if you're just on the practice squad, you is winning in life. You know what I'm saying? You're the winner. You can't be considered a loser. But in sports, if you don't get no championship, yeah, sports-wise, loser fits your ass. Because if you haven't won a championship, you are a career loser. That's just sports. That's just if we leave it as sports, yeah, you're a loser. In real life, nobody. I can't call Charles Barkley a loser. Look how much money Charles Barkley made. Look what he's doing. He got a career. He played basketball his whole life. Now he's got another career talking about the shit. You know what I'm saying? That man's on commercials. That man's, and he wasn't even exactly a good example. He was a guy that cancel culture would have canceled back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Charles Barkley definitely a winner. But if I say sports-wise, loser, I'll put that big L up on his forehead every day. But it's different. It's not really a loser in real life as the concept. It's just in sports, you a loser, dog. You know what I mean? And that's also it's also some jealousy, some inner hate. Because I grow up watching football. I played football as a kid, and I always thought, oh man, I can get to the NFL. And then when you realize you cannot, you get a little bit of hate inside. You get a little bit like, damn, especially when you see bad players and you see players that you think like they drop passes and they're garbage, and you go that yet they out there every week playing on an NFL team on TV, making all this money, and I feel like I can catch those balls. Yeah, you get a little mad.
But
Yeah.
next question in sports, I had to go back into TikTok real quick while you were talking, Tyrone. And I said, shouts out to the homie Game Point on TikTok. Go follow the kid. He made a post. Somebody he shared from. They asked the question. It was a 5-on-5 NBA question. Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Shaq, Tim Duncan, and Steph Curry versus Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dirk Nowitzki, and LeBron James. Who would win? I'll give y'all my answer after whoever goes first.
Well, I'm gonna say that the Jordan team is going to lose, and I'm picking the Jordan team to lose because of Steph Curry. Steph Curry cannot perform under those circumstances because he's going to be a defensive liability. He's not going to be able to guard anyone on that other team. And Magic Johnson, if they leave Steph on Magic, Magic's going to have a field day with Steph Curry. And I would put somebody of length on him, and I won't give him no space. He's not a guy that can get to the hole. He's not a guy that really can create too much. He's a guy that knows how to get space and knows how to take shots. That's all he is. On defense, he'd be a liability. And on offense, with that caliber of players, I don't even know if Steph really gets a lot of shots off or really gets a lot of opportunities to have the ball because they're going to get the ball out of his hand. So when I see both teams, I see Steph as the only major liability between the two teams, and the one team that has liability, I feel like they'll lose.
And here's how I saw it. I didn't see the liability aspect of things. I saw team game. And to me, like Brian says, ooh, I'm gonna go with Kobe's team, but that's tough. I don't think it's that tough, to be honest with you, because I see team basketball between Magic and LeBron. It's almost the same player, but with LeBron, you got a mix of Jordan and KD. Not a big mix, but I'm just saying the lethalness of his scoring ability is there. Magic Johnson, again, he can score, he could get to the hole. His court vision is going to be better. Plus, if it's a one-on-one head up against Steph for the point guard position, he's bigger than Steph. And he played he played better defense than Steph did. But you know what I'm saying? But then also, again, as Olajuwon is a problem. Olajuwon used to be a problem for Shaq. And then we're talking Dirk. Dirk and Timmy is a wash in a way. It could be perceived as a wash in some sort of ways. With the exception of Dirk is better from deep, and that's about it. But with the Jordan team, all I seen was ball dominant Kevin Durant, ball dominant Michael Jordan, ball dominant Shaq. Tim Duncan, yeah, he could be the facilitator off of picks and stuff like that. Plus, let's remember he played amazing with another great why am I forgetting his damn name?
Tony Parker, Ginobili.
No, the other center, David Robinson.
Oh, David
David Robinson. And I'm saying that meaning like he plays off another big well, he played off another big great. And then, like you said, now the way you laid it out, though Steph is the greatest shooter era in this situation, he might be the lone liability. You got Michael Jordan and Kobe. Like you got Michael Jordan and Kobe. Plus, if we're getting 24 Kobe and not number 8 Kobe, 24 Kobe is a different player, in my opinion. So give me team basketball for the win.
And I'm going the other way, man. So wait, Steph is on Mike's team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the team I'm going with. You know, y'all. I hear what you're saying, but man, Tim Hardaway used to give Johnson fits, and Steph dribbles like Tim Hardaway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so Steph is not going to try, and of course he can't back down. He's not backing down anyone. Definitely not backing down Magic. You know, he's coming off of screens. He can come off screens and catch and shoot. He can bring the ball up, break him off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? He gets to the hole. If we're talking 20 2013, I'm sorry, 2016, 2017 Steph. Yeah, he's doing all of that. Um,
Right.
Shaq, we're talking '01 Shaq. Yeah, he's gonna give Olajuwon hell. It's good, and I think that's gonna be a watch because Olajuwon is probably my favorite center. But yeah, Mike, man, Mike is just not going to let that team lose, man, and that's what it comes down to.
I
Who's
think
stopping Mike?
Yeah,
And we're talking like
but the
95,
other team
96
that
Mike.
here here's
the other
where
team has Michael Jordan in a Lakers jersey.
here's what I here here's
Yeah,
where I
Tyrone.
think
Here's where.
that Michael Jordan is not going to be the factor in letting that team lose or not. Is the simple fact of the matter is that Kobe is not going to be focused on helping his team win. Kobe is not going to be focused on scoring because he's got scorers all around him. Kobe's main focus is going to be to work Michael Jordan, and them two is
Wow.
going to be and them two are going to be working hard. And in between the two of them working for every shot, working for every chance to get the ball. In between the two of them working, they got too many other people in there that's going to be playing. Michael Jordan's not going to have the ball in his hands too much because Kobe's job is to prevent Jordan from doing anything. And that's all Kobe going to be focused on is preventing Jordan. Kobe ain't going to care about scoring. Kobe ain't going to care about none of that. Kobe going to be out there going, I'm not going to let Mike win this game for his team. I'm going to focus on Michael Jordan. And that's
So
going to
so
be,
so okay, so then that's just ego. Because
yeah,
after what I just said,
that is what that is.
after
That's
what I
what
just
it
said
is.
about Magic and Steph, if I was a coach, I'm not putting Magic on Steph. I'll put Kobe on Steph. You know what I'm saying? Because three points is always more than 2 points. You know what I'm
They're going,
saying?
I
So
I I'd put LeBron on Steph.
and
okay, forget about LeBron. I'll put LeBron. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
here's the
Okay,
bad part
because
about this.
Magic is also a defensive liability. Maybe not as much as Steph,
Now,
but
the biggest problem is going to be Durant because when Olajuwon is pulling Shaq away from the basket, because trust me, Olajuwon can hit jumpers, he can pull Shaq away. Dirk's
mhm.
going to do the same thing to Tim Duncan. Dirk can pull Tim Duncan away from the basket. So when LeBron's driving to the hole, who's stopping him? Durant's not stopping LeBron. So LeBron's going to be dunking all over these boys.
I'm still keeping Shaq down there. I'm still gonna
You
have Shaq.
can't. Then
Shaq is a rim
Olajuwon's hitting
protector.
the 15-footer all day.
Well, I'll take my chances with that.
And the one thing I'm saying, the one thing you leave is that player IQ. It's a big deal
Hmm.
in this one. And Kobe and fucking LeBron on the same court. That's like super. That's like Reed Richards and Dr. Doom playing together again.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like that's them being friends in the lab again. Like, come on, like that's a problem.
yeah.
That's a problem. And I'm sure them two can control the court enough to make matchup nightmares for everybody.
It's definitely a
For
matchup
everybody.
nightmare.
You know. It's just that, and yeah, Kevin mentioning Kevin Durant and defensive ability, Tyrone, there's your second liability. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that. And I see, to me, I see better all around team basketball coming from them against I got a killer here, I got a killer here, I got the most dominant center here and the best shooter ever here, along with the best power forward ever. So yeah, you kind of got some of the best in their positions of all time on that team. But I don't think that that's going to amount to beating the other guys who are the best, who are some of the best in their position, plus people who can also flex and play other positions. Like if you think Shaq is going to be a hacker Shaq guy, dynamic in this shit, let Magic Johnson resurrect his finals appearance and play center against Shaq. Okay, those are points you can get rid of. Cool, whatever. But then now you got Olajuwon covering freaking Kevin Durant. And he's
he would
almost
give
they're
KB
both
fits.
almost of the same build.
Yeah, he would
They're
give
both
KB
almost of
fits.
the same build.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got LeBron and fucking Kobe and then Dirk. Like you said, Dirk could be the X factor that he's, hey, look, I'm wide open over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm wide open over here. And Tim Duncan is again slow roll, but he's efficient. He's efficient. Steph, hell of a passer too. Yeah, his handles probably some of the best in the league still to this day right now. But also too, his passing ability is great. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like the team basketball of Kobe, LeBron, Magic, and yeah, Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, Patrick Ewing is my favorite center, not Olajuwon.
My favorite center is Shaquille O'Neal. So
Shaq is my number two.
Shaq's my number one. I don't I don't even care about
Shaq
Olajuwon.
is number 3
Number
because
three
I
over
still got to go with Patrick. Number 2.
Patrick over Shaq. Ah,
Well, I mean Patrick Ewing. No, let me say it right.
ah.
I think I I think Shaq is the best ever. Patrick Ewing is my favorite basketball player of all time. That's the reason. He's the reason why I'm a Knicks fan. Patrick
Yeah.
fucking Ewing is my favorite player of all time, but Shaq is the best center of all time,
Yes, I will
and
say that.
that's putting him over who I believe is the goat in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And
Oh.
I always say Kareem is the GOAT of basketball. You won state championships in high school, multiple national championships, and what is it, 5 or 6 freaking NBA championships?
Yeah.
Six
That
NBA
that
championships.
six
I
NBA, that's the GOAT of basketball, in my opinion.
I don't know if he has a gold medal.
Yeah, I'm
That
not
is
sure about that.
yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, you know what's funny though? I laugh about the Olympic shit only because here's my problem with the Olympic shit, right? Does the gold medal mean that much when the dream team happened? Because it was like
He
it was
expected
like
to win. He was
that's a
expected to win.
given. That was a
But
given when that dream team happened. You know what I mean? It was
but
like,
but in the '04s and all that, what we thought was a given was
well, here's the thing. So the world
and
caught up to
prior,
it.
but yeah, but no, you can say all right, no. You got to think about it like this. At one time in the Olympics, America couldn't send professionals, but every
Right.
other country had their professionals. So we kind of caught up to the world, and then yes, the world catching up had to then go in reverse. When we're just talking the global game, we're talking NBA. NBA has always produced the best players in the world. No ifs,
So
ands, or buts about it.
that's my thing about that. When they talk about gold medals, it kind of loses a little bit of oomph for me because like me, you, and O could have been on that dream team, and we would have got gold medals. We would have got gold medals, and
Yeah,
we
nah,
wouldn't have been shit. You
nah.
know,
But see, but all
Christian
right, when we
Laettner got a
think it,
gold medal.
you're right, and they just brought him along because college player. They needed at least one.
That's what I'm
They should have
saying.
they should have picked somebody else, but I think they needed the
Shaquille O'Neal.
representation. Right. But nah, you still playing high level. And as an NBA player, you're playing under rules that you're not used to. You play under FIBA rules, which is looser. Well, I think I'm probably better than NBA.
Did you
But
watch?
you still playing against the best. And again, yeah, you can ride whatever. You can beat Christian Laettner. You're still a gold medalist. He can't take that away from you. Moments, man.
Nope.
Did you watch
Nope.
the? Did you watch the Dream Team? That was
I
like they
did.
was playing that Dream Team in the Olympics looked like an All-Star game.
But all right,
They-
that was thank you for saying that like that because the point that I was trying to I forgot. Okay, they are the best of the best, but how bad did they whoop everybody? And that's where they set themselves apart because it was no mercy on everybody. It was fucking Cobra Kai on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Show no fucking mercy. And when they went with playing like that, that's exactly how you're supposed to exert yourself. If you're the quote unquote best of the best of the best, no get you. They never took their fucking foot off the gas. That's exactly how you should beat everybody if you're that caliber.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, them bitches always count. Them bitches always count.
I'm saying they don't
Patrick,
count.
you, they don't count to you.
I ain't saying they don't count. I'm just saying they don't have the same oomph as an NBA championship. Not to me, they don't. So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, now, I think the rest of the world's caught up. You know what I'm saying? Especially you got countries like France. You know, Argentina's always around. Serbia's always around.
yeah.
You know,
Now they gotta work more. They gotta work
yeah.
a little more.
And not to mention, I mean, nobody wants to talk about it, but USA, our talent level has dropped from the Dream Team. You know, it's
Yeah.
dropped from the Redeem Team. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like now the game's become kind of. To me, I think what happened is the game has become so flashy, and the defense is so kind of lackluster that players don't have to focus on the fundamentals of basketball no more. Long as you got a good dribble, you can shoot, you can look good in the NBA. It's like a lot of these
And
players don't have the fundamentals of the game no
and,
more, man.
and that's a part of the problem that we've talked about historically on this show for years. When talk because you can blame the AAU system in some sort of way. There are a lot of great AAU coaches. There's a lot of them out there. We can't act like there isn't. But the AAU system, when you're just taking the best of this area, the best of this area, the best of this area, and because these kids, they do put in their work on their private time, but it's like go out there and have free for all, go out there and there's no more, like I said, everybody, like we call it positionless basketball. It's almost like everybody can play the same position at any height and any size nowadays. To where I see what you're saying, Tyrone. Of like you don't see that person that looks like they played power forward their whole life level
Right.
fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? Like that they didn't play the center position, which the center position don't play the same. But they didn't really play because why? Because on maybe their high school team, they were the best player. So they were the guy that had to bring the ball down. They could pull the three, they could do this, they could do that. And so those same things just carry over. Them same things carry over to where it does look like a lack of fundamentals. But I think a lot of it is because of just it's mainly AAU basketball, not being coached the same. I don't even want to say college because no, yeah, you could actually implement college a little. Oh,
Yeah, it's
lack of
Tyrone brought it up, and I'm like, and I was saying the same thing to myself, Dan. It's a running argument that we've had in this show for a while, man. We've seen the deterioration of the same team basketball that you guys were talking about, and yeah, college does play a part when you have these star players, at still in college well, let me not say star players. When you have these players still in college at 26, 27, and they play for 4 or 5 different schools, and then you have the star player, that'll be one and done. Yeah, they're missing out on good coaching, fundamental basketball. So that then you hear people like Popovich talking about how he has to teach fundamental basketball in practice, and which is crazy to me. Like, why is an NBA player going over basics when they should be going over game plans?
right. Because I mean, fundamentals are fundamentals for a reason. Like fundamentals never change.
Hmm.
And this is where, like, the arguments of my era was better than yours and yada yada yada. Like, this kind of can be added into this conversation too, where it older heads, they're not wrong when they can say certain things were better in their generation than the newer generations in certain ways. Because, like, and just taking it from a professional wrestling aspect of things, like, a lot of people don't like to listen to what Bubba Ray, Bully Ray says sometimes, but he always said it. Old school always works because it's the fundamentals of the sport and whatever you do. Like, the old school always will work. Even if you have to just go back with some and resort back to, dig back in that bag to get it out. But old school always works because old school was based off of fundamentals. So everything was based off of the root of what you're doing. But then, yes, when people take those fundamentals, or they come in with any given talent, or worked on given talent, or some would say a God-given talent, you just kind of run with what you're good at in some cases. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of just run with what you're good at, and then you got to go backwards and learn. And sometimes it's hard to retrain somebody off of something. You know, how many people tried to fix freaking what's the name shot? What's the name for Phoenix's shot?
Oh,
I
Talking
can't
about
forget this.
not Sean Marion.
Yeah, not yeah, yeah, Sean Marion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Marion. I was thinking of Kenyon Martin for some reason, but that was like, no, Sean Marion. How many people tried to fix that shot?
when we
You know,
so I don't. This is why I don't really get into the whole era argument because it's stupid to me, and I hate to use Kobe, but I love to use Kobe. So Kobe Bryant is a prime example. Kobe Bryant was around when they had the old defense. He was around when the defense changed. He adapted his game. Kobe Bryant broke his finger on his shooting hand and could not shoot properly the way he used to. He had to adjust and change his whole shooting mechanics mid-season in that one season when he broke his finger. And he had to do that. And he did it and he ended up fine, right? When Kobe Bryant lost a step, couldn't slash, couldn't get to the basket, couldn't play above the rim no more. He went to his post ups, he went to his mid range game. He knew okay, I'm not above the rim no more, but I can do this mid range shit. I can do this post up shit. LeBron adjusted his 3-point shooting. So you know what I mean? So even if you come from a different era, even if you play in a different era, a great basketball player is going to adjust to whatever he's got to deal with on that court. So when they had tough
agreed,
defense, you adjust to it. When they got soft defense, yeah, that's when you bust your moves out. That's when you learn how to
uh,
dribble. You know what I'm saying?
Tyrone. But what I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. But that is what comes with the evolution past the fundamentals. And yes, every era. This is the point of watching game film. This is the point of, things come at you differently every game. But if you have your fundamentals down, then that leaves you time to learn the other and read and adjust and things like that. What I was trying to describe is the some people who come in with base, but never work on them hard fundamentals, and we can see it in a lot of today's games in certain ways. Like what O just said, freaking Popovich talking about, I gotta teach fundamentals to NBA players. That's clear sign that you came in with you playing a certain way. You've always done certain things a certain way, and that's how your game stays. But then when you need to adjust, you
Yeah.
have no foundation to fall
You're
back
lost.
on to make
Yep.
the adjustment.
Yep.
And now you gotta relearn. And then relearn, okay, now you're relearning how to deal with this one. But okay, but if you had the base fundamentals of, say, just defensive play as a whole, that is your pivot point of, okay, now I can utilize these things to go here. And then, oh shit, I had now learned this and acquired this new skill set on top of the base things that I learned Mega Man. This is making me think of Mega Man. Mega Man has the freaking hand cannon and is going to take out each boss. But once you beat Cut Man, now you learn Cut Man's thing. And then you realize, oh shit, I might not be able to use Cut Man's powers against Metal Man, but I can use it against Woodman. Let me go beat Woodman with Cutman, and now I got and you just absorb what you got the base level of that hand cannon that can get you out of the scenario, whether you have Cutman or Wood or Fire.
Right.
You can beat anybody with the base level power. Did I kill that or did I fucking kill that? But yeah, I know we missed a lot of shit. And I gotta say apologies to everybody if you listen to us on audio because the 2 weeks ago show, again, I've been having computer trouble, so I haven't been able to upload it. So this week you're gonna get the two shows from us. I'm on vacation this week, so there's a bunch of things I gotta hook up. Shouts out to Jason Richardson and J1Con that's coming soon, September 28th and 29th, Showboat Hotel. I'm gonna post the promo of who our panelists are very soon, which is our boy Jamal, filmmaker, producer, director, media company owner. We said Hulk Hogan fucking with the sea. Fuck Hulk Hogan. And then the homie T Smith, who, man, I went over the homie's credits again and what he's done, what he's been a part of, whether it was casting, location scout, extra, casting extras, whatever the case. My man has been involved with MTV, BET. He was involved with a piece of the Chappelle Show, a certain era of the Chappelle Show. He was one of the main cinematographers of the Fade to Black movie, Jay-Z's movie. He's been a part of Clockers, Dead Presidents. When you see his resume, y'all, on 1212 Media, 1012 Media, like my man is heavy, 30 plus years in the game. But again, I brought these two brothers along to talk to people who do want to do independent filmmaking, who do want to try to get into that lifestyle. Maybe T. Smith can help them with the how do I get into what do I need to do to get into mainstream television nowadays? Because even that game's changed. So come through this year's Blackfinity Gauntlet is going to be based around those brothers and just being independent makers and creators when it comes to film. And then I'm trying to think maybe this is something we need to discuss as a team, especially offline. But like, do we get a table? And I was thinking about it, like we get a table and we utilize the table the whole con for content and creating content. Because I was thinking of doing stuff, Tyrone, like we get a table and people who come up to the table, we bring them on camera, and we either do like live tier makers or say even we do a live in person at the table, like tournament or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I got some ideas. We got to run this by everybody, but
I was confused at first. I was like, we don't really have no merch. Like, I mean, we're not a merch kind of thing. I was like, what would we do at a table? But then when you said like we could do some live,
we we
live
do have merch.
I'm not,
We
you know what I
do
mean?
have, yeah.
Like merch, like how the people are there to sell merch. And we're
Yeah.
we have merch available, but we're not presented as merch sellers. Like we're not shirt designers and stuff like that. That's what I meant by like merch. I know we can have merch to sell, but you know what I mean? But I was just thinking like, what would we do at a table? But then when you said like live tournaments or like live video broadcasts, I'm like, I think that would be really cool.
Right. And this week and like a whole convention long podcast, like everything that happens on the table gets recorded and cut up into mini episodes. So we like randomly pull people in to talk and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
if y'all are down with that, but the only issue is like the table's gonna have to consistently be manned by somebody. But I think we can have some fun with that.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm definitely down with something like that. That sounds like
Yeah.
fun, especially for
Yeah.
me.
Just random shit, yo. But let's get into the shit that we can get the fuck out of here because it was light today. We just had to give y'all something. So I put the homework out there, and O said he kind of had this idea for a while too, man. But like, what are, and I was specifically thinking music, but eventually, every week we're gonna give something, but eventually we're gonna branch it into other shit that we like, we're interested in, things like that or whatever. But like, but musically, for this first portion of this little venture, who are like artists that or groups or whatever that like that you listen to, but you don't hear the masses talk about enough? And we could give a couple now, but we're gonna go around the table and everybody gives something, and then within giving like the artist and what you mentioned, then give us something that we should go check out. Like you believe that this project is worthy of us talking about, and why we should be talking about these artists more often.
Let me go.
Yeah, yeah, because always getting the ice.
Well, for me, I don't right now. I don't have any people that I really get into right now that I don't know that people's talking about because nobody's talking about nobody that I listen to at this point. All the talk is about these new artists that I don't get into or listen to. But if I had to pick for me, it was always D12, and I enjoyed D12 a lot, and they went platinum, and I like both of their albums, and I wish that they could have continued to work after Proof died. But my thing with D12 was that like no one really listened to them. No one really talked about them. They were not in nobody's circle, and I'm like, they put out two quality albums as far as I was concerned. And D12 World was pretty good, and yeah, they had the cachet of having Eminem on most of the tracks, but it was like I listened to them to hear what was going on without the Eminem parts in it. You know what I mean? To see if these guys were good, and then to find out that Mr. Porter was actually a producer on so a lot of them they produced a lot of their own tracks and stuff like that people don't know, and so I thought that they were a quality group, and everybody was just basically on that whole Eminem thing, and kind of D12 kind of got pushed to the back burner. And then after Proof died, Eminem said like the group kind of like lost their spunk and stuff like that. But I really wish that they could have continued to go on. And for now, I'm going to say this, and I know she does get talked about a lot, but I still don't feel as though people realize how good she is, because when I talk to people, they don't really act like they like her. But for me, Cardi B is spectacular for me. I don't know why people just think like she's just corny and they want to talk about her ass and they want to talk about her personal life. But as far as her music is concerned, she's got bars, and
But
she made.
the question is people that don't. The question was people that don't get talked about.
But she's not getting talked about for her music. That's my point. She's getting talked about for everything outside of her music, bro. And I'm just talking strictly for the music. I feel like Cardi B she should be put up there. She should be talked about more. She should be mentioned a lot when we're talking about rap music right now, because she's putting out banging ass songs, good beats, good lyrics. I don't know. For me, Cardi B is putting in work, and I just wanted to give her some kind of credit up here, because she's only getting credit and talked about for negativity in her personal life, and the music is still good to me.
Oh, that pick was we listen, but we don't judge. We listen, but we don't judge.
That's
That's
exactly what that was, man. I'm like, hey, man, listen, you like Cardi B, man. You like Cardi B, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so with me, I right now, what I'm listening to, man, I'm listening to a lot of guys that are similar but different. Right now, man, everyone's talking about the Clips album that came out. Same day that album came out, man, Boldy James dropped another album, and yeah, man, I've been listening to a lot of Boldy James. I've listened to a lot of Jay Worthy. a lot of Rock Marciano, and a lot of Larry June. They sound similar, but they're different. And I'm a fan of all their music, man. Alchemist. He I don't know if people know enough about him to say. I guess it's kind of like with Cardi B. Fans, like rap purists, who love it and who follow, read the credits and everything. They know of Alchemist. They know of Alchemist from Mob Deep days. But yo, right now, man, he is churning out some good quality music, man, and it's been that way for the past couple of years now. You know, I would it would behoove everyone to give it a listen, go on Apple Music, man, and see, man. Um, I wrote a couple of them down. Another guy I listened to.
We'll come back around the circle. We'll come back around the circle.
Okay, okay.
We're definitely gonna come back around the circle because I think I got a few too. And the main one that's hitting my head right now, um, I have to say it like this because I've been saying this shit a lot and saying it to myself a lot recently. Like I always had the itch to make beats. One time I did do it a lot on Fruity Loops. I bought an MPC 2000 years ago and I couldn't get into it the way I wanted to, so I sold it. I got this Roland SP404 that I haven't touched yet because I haven't been inspired heavy enough, but I'm realizing in recent time, though y'all are talking about him because of Run the Jewels, but people don't talk about LP enough, pre-Run the Jewels. People don't talk about LP enough, pre-Run the Jewels. Because as a beat maker, the dude has always been phenomenal. Now, you gotta kind of, if you like Run the Jewels and you like that, like I can almost say like what feels like industrial, robotic, semi-futuristic type of sound type, like he's that guy. Like, if you know about Def Jux back in the day that had to turn to Definitive Jux because of label name reasons and being sued by Def Jam and all that, like, you know the type of work that this dude put out. But I mean, as a rapper, he's always been fire from Company Flow to his own albums. Which his own albums, I implore everybody to go listen to Fantastic Damage. I run that shit sometimes at least once a week. And then I think it's called Cancer for a Cure is one that he kind of dedicated to his homie Camel Toe. Um, Phenomenal. I mean, honestly, all his solo work is phenomenal. But then, yes, you bring him up to Run the Jewels, people are talking about him as a part of Run the Jewels. But LP solo wise, stemming after Post Company Flow, that's somebody that I think, especially when you're talking beat makers and you mentioned Alchemist, like he can be talked about with those types, in my opinion. He could be now, he's not like, in my opinion, Jay Dill is the greatest ever. Madlib is the greatest living. Then you got like Alchemist, people like him. He could be mentioned up there, like once you start talking Alchemist and shit like that. Like not Dre Premier RZA, Jay Dilla, Madlib for me, but that next level, like you can rank him high enough. But go Fantastic Damage, and I think it's Cancer for a Cure. Definitely listen to those joints. Go
Yep,
ahead
yep.
again if Tyrone got nothing. Tyrone
Nah.
went for two in a row.
Yeah, no. I agree with what you said, man. But I'm definitely gonna give LP a listen, man. I listen to him from Run the Jewels, and yeah, I really know the beats that you're talking about. I kind of got an idea what you're talking about. Yeah, man. I listened to this dude too, Saba from Chicago.
I've heard I've heard of him.
Yeah. He has so he also has an album out with No ID. You know, also another Chicago head, man. So yeah, I'm also giving that a listen to as well. You know.
Yeah.
As far as the old, I have an old one that I dusted off and started listening to again. Um, Blue Chips 2, Action Bronson, man.
Blue
I
Chip
really
7000. Blue Chip 7000. That's
yeah.
one of my favorite. That's the name of it. That's one of my favorite fucking Action Bronson albums.
I gotta listen to that one. I never okay.
It's not Blue. No, I'm just telling you. Listen to it because it's called Blue Chip 7000, not Blue Chips 2.
Okay, no, the one I saw is Blue Chips 2. The one where
I'm gonna have to.
the one he the album cover it's like a cartoon. He's supposed to be a Nick Nolte basketball coach yelling at some
Oh,
official, some shit.
maybe.
Yeah. But Blue Chip
Yeah.
7000, I gotta look for.
Oh,
Um, I got another one. I don't. Joyner Lucas. I really enjoy Joyner Lucas music. He got the ADHD 2 album dropped this year, and he's putting out good music, and he's kind of for me like on that J. Cole vibe. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't know. I thought that when he came out in 2020, when he did the ADHD in 2020, and people were talking about him, and he had like features with him and stuff. I thought he was going to like blow up, and then it kind of like he kind of faded out, and I didn't understand why, because he's still putting out quality music. And like I said, ADHD 2 came out this year, and that's pretty deep. It's still a decent album, but nobody I don't hear nobody checking for him. I don't hear nobody talking about him. He's not being put out there in mainstream too. But I really enjoy joining the Lucas shit too. I like him a lot.
he's been mentioned recently because of Skepta trying to try to do like UK versus US, and he was one of the only few who stepped up, but nobody gave a shit because he's all right. Like he's all right. Like he doesn't. I'm sorry. He doesn't. To me, he doesn't. And I could dig it where you like him. He doesn't do like he's like J Cole. I know he's nice, but he doesn't do anything for me that makes me want to go run to listen to his work. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why.
oh my bad. Blue Chips 2 is a probably a thing, and that's one of those albums that skipped way the fuck over my head. I'm sorry.
Mm.
I,
Yeah, man, you should give it a listen, man.
I will. I will. I
But that was
will.
but that was my point. That's why I compared him to J. Cole. I feel the same way about J. Cole. Like J. Cole should be, he's good, man. He should be mentioned like better. Like J. Cole should be a top guy in rap right
Yeah.
now, as far as
Yeah,
I'm
I
concerned.
like J Cole. I like J Cole.
Yeah, but I mean, Jordan Lucas is like the same. Give me like the same kind of vibe. It's almost like the same kind of music. That's what I'm saying. That's why I compared him to J. Cole. That's who he reminds me of when I'm listening to his songs and his raps or whatever. And the same way too, like he not getting the recognition of where I think it should be as far as the quality of music that he putting out.
Mm.
All right. All right.
Also, Jim
Go
Jones,
ahead.
man.
Okay, now he's just trying to be
I know.
funny.
And another crack smoking news. Uh, my next one. I was gonna do a TikTok. I did two on TikTok already. I did two on TikTok already. This is where I kind of kicked this whole thing off at. One of them I mentioned on TikTok was rapper Big Pooh. Easily, the other half easily again. He to me, him and Fonte just run neck and neck. Both their pens are amazing. Both of them never honestly has ever been a part of anything whack. But I said that on the TikTok already. Last night I did one for Thurston Howell the third. What up, Corey? I did one Thurston Howell the third. I mean, this dude, the Polo Rican, the reason one of the founders of the Low Lives group. Uh, this dude, it just depends on your style of rap, but I personally think he's somebody who should be talked about amongst the legends more often. More often, again, you could go back to Lyricist Lounge when he was on MTV back in the day, and that was when he was close to about to take off. But then, man, Skillionaire, what was it? Skilletary is another one. Forgot the other. Damn, I was just listening to him damn recently. But I don't need to mention all names. you can see what I put up on the TikTok. But one I was gonna say for TikTok that I'm gonna give now is Sky Zoo. Sky Zoo is somebody that doesn't get talked about as much as I believe he should. For the past decade or so, this dude has had one of the best pens in rap, period. Now, also, it's like it also depends on the style of rap you like, because he tells stories, but even when he's rapping, like it comes off like poetry, which is kind of like another rapper that I could mention. You know what, I'll do it. I'll mention him after this. But another guy who's never made a bad album, never been a bad part of a bad project. Like as a group, him and Torre put out Barrel Brothers from track one to the end. You can run that shit straight and there's no skip. Plus, that album feels super New York.
I was gonna
But then you
say,
can
I
go
was gonna
back
say,
to freaking
I was gonna say, I was waiting for you to mention that dude's from New York. You know, it was, it's
yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
you ask yourself, why is it that some rappers get all this publicity and all this, when it talks about pens, the pen game, they always get the honorable mentions, and some don't. When
Right.
this
And
dude is nice, like, I
he's
mean,
a guy
I know.
he's a guy who's ran independent his whole career. That's probably why.
Okay, well, yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why. And I know I was about to say, I know I'm going off on a tangent. We could bring it back, but I know you've seen the clip where these guys were saying they were going over this list, and they were talking about how Black Thought, how no, I'm sorry, no, I'm getting confused. It was
I
Styles P.
know
It was Doom ahead
we're
of
com-
Styles P.
we're coming back to that shit in a minute. I'm glad you brought that back because we should have talked about that last week when we didn't have a show.
Okay.
But we coming back to that shit. Yeah, because I remember I said this was a show. Yeah. We coming back. But also Sky Zoo, Retropolitan, another joint to listen to. Um,
Right. With P
and then
Rock. That's with P Rock, right? The Metropolitan.
that, let me look at it. I think yes, it was the P Rock one. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And then Music for My Friends is another dope one. I mean, I could just mention all his album names, but yeah. Shots out. I see Corey got shot. Go check out Marry Me Junkies podcast. The alert just popped up that you just uploaded a new show, Corey. What up? But the another one. This is digging deep into the hole for me for y'all. I mentioned LP before, Def Jux. I'm mentioning a member from the group Cannibal Ox, who was one of my favorites forever. Cannibal Ox. I listen to them once a week, sometimes two, three times a week. But Vast Air, when I'm talking about a person whose pen game is fucking nasty and it comes off like poetry in a way, but you can get his shit be like layered, but you can get it. You can still get it. This dude, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Go listen to that shit. Go listen to all his Cannibal Ox work from why am I forgetting the first whatever. I forgot the damn album name. My head's been in the clouds. But I'm thinking of Blade of the Ronin, which is the second album. I don't know why I think about the second album over the first, but whatever. Stop rambling. But go listen to Vast Air. Beautiful Joe, I think was another one of the album names. No, it was called Look Ma No Hands. And then there was a song called Beautiful Joe on there. Plus Look Ma No Hands, the song. Um 2001 Space Odyssey. You got listen to Battle of the Planets. Just listen to Battle of the Planets. And beat wise, if you were a fan of Battle of the Planets show, if you might not get the lyrics going on, beat wise, you're gonna be like, yo, after we done, I'm gonna try to remember to send y'all the link of that. If not, you don't pull it up yourself. But the beat for Battle of the Planets is. But now back on that. So lay it out again. Doom Styles. Oh,
Okay, right. So there was a list, and I hate these fucking lists because they never go back and tell you how they break down a list and why, they never give you the rundown, right? They just put the list out there. So this list has, I think that was the same list. Lil Wayne was number one. The reason why I'm
no,
saying,
Nas. I think Nas was number one.
okay, all right. Well, this particular list that this podcast was talking about, um, it rated it rated MF Doom ahead of Styles P, and everyone erupted on in the podcast. Oh, how could you put Styles P in front of MF Doom? Da da da.
I
And
mean,
one guy,
behind Doom. Behind Doom.
right behind Doom, correct, behind Doom, and one guy said, "This is He basically said this is an invalid argument if you've never listened to Style, if you've never listened to MF Doom, if you've never listened to his discography, then we can't even have this argument." And I totally, totally, totally agree with him. I am a huge Locks fan, right? And I'm not taking anything away from Styles P, man. He's one of my favorite rappers, especially his early work. But yo, when it comes to Doom, it's hard for me to put him ahead of Doom. And maybe
Now,
because I've listened to I've sat and listened to a lot of Doom's work, especially from his early from the early ones, Doomsday, all the way down. So I don't know.
the question really was laid out on. It was really laid out as who is more influential. That's how they, and this is where they spun the question to how could you say MF Doom is more influential than Styles P? This is where I think I first laid it down and I asked, how was if you can name them, in what ways was Styles P influential? And that's taking no credit from Styles P because Styles P to me at the time was my favorite Locks member. I had Jadakiss last. I can explain that another day. But I had Jadakiss as my last. Yeah, actually, no. Jadakiss was the last member of the Locks that I liked solo.
Mm.
And I personally think Styles makes the better music. I think he makes the better music out of anybody in the group. Even though everybody sleeps on Chic, go back and check them Silverback Gorilla albums. There's somebody else that people should be talking about more, but they don't because Jadakiss is everything to them. Go back and listen to Chic. So Chic made great records, and he can rap his ass off. And go listen to that Wu Block. But I digress on that. The question was influential. In what ways? And I want y'all two to try. In what ways was Styles P influential?
Um, I don't see where Styles P was influential because it was like I didn't listen to the Locks because like it was like the same thing with like Dipset, Jim Jones. You saw his influence in fashion and stuff like that. You saw the influence in like people started using the word balling and all that. It became a thing, and so it was an influential thing with Jim Jones and Dipset. Dipset became a thing. The Locks was just gritty New York hardcore hip hop to me, and they didn't influence anything. They kind of like was the same as I always been. I don't know nothing that I can pinpoint to say, oh yeah, that came from the Locks. You know what I'm saying? It,
Oh,
I don't know. I
Yeah,
see kind of influence in it.
I think at the time Locks came out, you know, Styles was he was considered the most street out of the three. And with that, I guess you probably have dudes, you probably have people that gravitated toward him, especially after he shot nigga in the ass and went to prison and shit for a couple
But
of years. That pretty much solidified it. But yeah, he was I guess he was that street. He was uh nominated that street guy out of the three. So
um,
so
I can
that was
see.
so Street is the influence, but this is why I was just like, this is an
well,
easy no brainer. Go ahead.
could we include the Locks as part of that whole Rough Riders
No,
bike culture situation though?
They were Rough Riders, but the bike, no, because they weren't really out there riding. They didn't show them riding like that. Were
Mm-mm.
they Rough Riders? Yeah, but the Rough Riders bike culture, that's totally separate from rap as a whole. I mean that's totally separate. But so if you want to even try that, then that's like a not that's a deep like that don't even really count to be honest with you. But Doom influence wise, like there's a whole layer of rap that again mainstream don't talk about type stuff that people wanted to be like Doom. People wanted to rap like Doom. Uh pen wise, Doom's bars and shit was like you're still digging today to figure out the answers to some of the bars. Like that's how it might have sounded simple, but it's like how highly intelligent and thought out some of this shit was, as far as name references and things like that. But then the whole gimmick of the mask and the influence of bringing that quote unquote nerdy comic booky style to rap. Um, the whole persona of three personas of being the MC, beat maker, well, mainly the two. There's MC, beat maker, and the all around guy with the King Ghidra, MF Doom, Victor Vaughn shit. Um, the dude was a staple on Cartoon Network. You know what I'm saying? Like he branched out from Cartoon Network. We forget about him as Zev Love X and the whole KMD situation. Plus, influence wise, he was a part of the court case about free speech. Go look up the video. He was in them court cases. As Zev Love X. So he was a part of a pivotal court case for music in general. If that's not a freaking influential moment to the whole everything, I don't know. But it's the whole character thing of Doom and everything that became way more influential on other artists of a layer of rap that probably y'all ain't listening to. That people wanted to be like him. Like people fucking lost their minds in seeing him. Like who else had doppelgangers going out and then people tried to do the same thing with no shows and stuff like that, but they couldn't. You had doppelgangers going out as you and collect like he was doing real Doctor Doom like shit, sending Doom bots out, and people tried that, respected it, did disrespected it. Like, yeah, Doom was far more influential. The bars battle back and forth between the two, that's subjective. That's totally subjective.
But you know what is the crazy part about it is like people don't have enough grace or enough self-respect or enough whatever it takes inside of you to bow out of a situation and to bow out of an argument when you don't have the material to be a part of the argument. Because when I did my podcast on Eminem being the GOAT, right? I got into so many arguments with people who main argument against it was I don't even listen to Eminem. And it's
Right.
like so you're
Right.
telling me Eminem's not the GOAT just because you don't listen to him. You're not part of this then. You're not who I'm talking to. You're not who I'm debating with. You're out. And that's the same thing how I feel about MF Doom. I never commented on him. I never talked about him too much because you guys really kind of put me onto that. I knew who he was. I heard of him. I heard some particular songs, but I didn't dig into MF Doom because I wasn't a fan until you guys said, hey, no, listen to it, put the CDs on, y'all gave me some homework, and then it was now I'm able to talk about him. You know what I'm saying? But before that, I was grateful enough to say, I don't know that dude. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not a part of this debate. And that's what these people don't do. And that's what happens when we get these lists
Right,
and we
right.
get these debates. People don't have all the info. They don't do all the homework, and then they want to talk out their ass because Styles P is so great that we can't put him above
Right.
MF Doom, even though we don't know what MF Doom does. You know what I mean?
Like
Crazy.
those guys could have had that conversation better with people like us because we actually actively listen to both sides.
Right. Right.
And it
It's
goes exactly to what Tyrone just said. Like people are what I can guarantee you they might have heard Doom a couple times type shit.
Right, right, right. It's a much more difficult, complex conversation to have, than to just be throwing out names and, oh, this one's better than this one. Okay, why? You know what I'm saying? You won't listen if you grew up if Hot 97 is playing nothing but locks and then don't touch MF Doom, and I'm not saying that
Right.
most people that's how they intake music, and I'm not saying that. But most people, I mean, a lot of people, that's how they don't go on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever the case is. They get all their music from the radio. And if all you're playing is locks and you're not playing any MF Doom, yes, you're gonna say Styles P is better than MF Doom. You know.
Yeah. And that
So
happens, and that used to happen. Like I used to have friends of mine, they were fucking with me for the most part, but they would try to argue and say Nelly was better than KRS-One because they tried to view Nelly as Nelly won the battle. And I was like, nigga, you know they drug testing this job, right? You know they do. You know they do testing, right? I don't want to have them make you pee in this cup because, yo, you bugging. But it's that thing of like, yeah, okay, he was the old guy, but this is the new shit. This is what I'm on now. This is what I'm being programmed to like and listen to. Yeah. But this is why I always say dig that extra layer deep to go find the other shit, to go
Yeah,
find some shit.
because I can accept anybody's opinion if it's valid in what they're saying. Like for me, people argue with me all the time. I don't like Tupac. Okay, I never did. I never liked Tupac. I was never a big Tupac fan. And people come at me and they argue with me all the time about it. And I tell them I think that there's a lot of Tupac doesn't make my Tupac only makes my top 10 out of respect. He doesn't make my top 10 because I think he's one of the top 10 rappers in the world. I just think, when I look at my criteria and respect for how I do my criteria, Tupac makes the top 10. Right? But when I argue with people about Tupac and they argue me down, I don't disrespect their opinion, but they have to respect mine because at least when they bring up songs, when they bring up albums, when they bring up the music, I know the music. So my opinion is not based on me not knowing or me being biased towards another rapper. My opinion is based on I just genuinely don't like it. And if you
Right.
genuinely don't like something, you could say Styles P is better than MF Doom. If you genuinely don't like MF Doom, if you know what I mean, you can be genuine, you can feel that way. That don't make you right or wrong, but don't
But
just do it based on your bias because you like South P and you don't know what MF Doom is
and,
putting out.
and because even but and again, even in between that, like yeah, you can have bias, but also you can consume it and it's just not for you. Like it's
right.
okay. At least just admit that hey, this like I said, Joyner Lucas, J. Cole, Fab, even especially Fab, like they
I'm a
they
baby.
can they can rap. Their music just isn't for me.
Yeah.
Do they have something that I probably liked? Possibly. But when I've listened to them, do I want to go back and hear more? No. But it's okay. I've actually given them the honest try. I mean, y'all see my historical picture between with me and when Fab was on stage, but like I might not act the same seeing J. Cole. Like maybe J. Cole puts on a dope ass performance that makes me say, okay, you know what? Let me give this another try. Like Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly. When I first listened to it, I didn't get it. Then when we shouts out to T Smith once again, when he did the open air festival and the DJ that they had, he played all right, and I'm watching the crowd go nuts. And I had to turn to my man and be like, yo, what's this? And he's like, yo, this is on that new Kendrick. And this is like the new anthem right now. But I'm watching everybody love it. I go back, I give it a second chance. I was like, it opened me up.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. And then let me listen to the whole holy shit. I must have been listening to Jimmy, but I didn't hear Jimmy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I'm glad you
saying? Like,
understand.
Right. You
I'm
really,
glad.
you really got to open up. You're just thinking, and sometimes, and
yeah,
I'm sitting
open
here
minded
listening to
is
you.
everything.
Right. I'm sitting here listening to you, right, and I'm saying to myself, okay, so is there is there a threshold to where we could say, okay, I don't like okay, like what you said with Tupac. Not a big Tupac fan either, right? But I think I've listened to enough hours to say, okay, yeah, you know what, it's not for me. So, is it 2 hours and you could say, all right, you know what, fuck Tupac, I don't like Tupac, or is it 10, 20 hours? You giving it a chance or whatever. Like what is that? Is it 30 minutes and you're like, yeah, nah, and I'm just not listening to him again, ever again. So
I,
it's
I, I think it's subjective. I think even
right.
that's subjective because, like me, if it's something that I didn't get, like I have my method. There's a reason why I haven't listened to a lot of the new albums that came out is because I have a method of listening personally. I have to hear an album straight through, don't skip anything at all, period. And then I give a judgment. Then if there's joints that I definitely liked, I might run it back quicker than I like Kendrick Lamar I mentioned before. Damn is an album that has still been hard for me to pick back up.
And I love it. I
And people
love
right,
it.
and people love it. But people feel opposite where about To Pimp a Butterfly, where I could go to any, I could just go like this to Pimp a Butterfly, and I know I'm gonna be happy.
See,
But
that's me. I don't.
it took a few spins to
And
get
see,
there.
that's
So
me.
for
I
me,
don't.
it takes a few plays.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
don't love to pimp a butterfly. I love them. So we kind of opposite on that. But
I love Good Kid, Mad City. So
but oh, to your point, my point is if I listen to a guy like I'm not a big Tupac fan, right? But I've listened to every Tupac album. You know why? Because Tupac is not egregious enough to me to not pick the shit up. You know what I'm saying? So like I listened to the first Tupac album. Okay, I'm not all excited like everybody else. But I'm not sitting here going, yo, Tupac is fucking trash. I'm never gonna listen to it again. So when Tupac put out the next album, I check that shit out because he's not bad enough for me. He's not like you pick up the Benzino first album and you listen to I'm never listening to Benzino again. It's not like that. It's like Tupac is cool enough that if he puts out another album, I'll check it out. I'll turn it
Benzino out
on.
here catching strays.
I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? So that's where I go. I go if somebody's just if you put on somebody's album and it's just terrible enough where you can't even get through one, you're not gonna never listen to that artist again. Tupac wasn't that for me. Tupac was okay. This album's cool. I ain't putting him up in my team in the upper echelon for me. But when he puts out the next one, I'll give it a spin. I'll
That
turn it on.
that's why for me, right? Like I kind of like raise an eyebrow to when people, okay, an album comes out on Friday and people will rate this album by Friday night. Like I'm like, nah, I need at least a weekend. You know what I'm saying? I need to run it back a couple, like 3, 4, 5 times. Ask me again come Sunday, maybe Monday morning, how I feel about this album. And you just cannot. There's no way you can rate an album
But
after a couple of hours, man.
but
In my
I'll tell
opinion.
you,
Right. Like
what happened.
there's sometimes where like ESPN used to say, instant classics. There's some joints that are just undeniable, instant.
Yes, yes,
This shit
yes,
grabbed me and locked me in
yes,
from
yes.
play, from press and play. But yeah, nah, like again, this is why I don't dive into personally. And I'm sorry, Tyrone, you could go. But this is why I don't like. I haven't listened to the Clips album yet. I need the hype to go to fuck that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then don't let me be driven by the hype. But if
Right.
there's somebody that I really, really want to listen to, I'm trying to jump in as quick as possible. Like the last album, and rest in peace to Sean Price. The last album I remember actually running to the store to get was the Mike Tyson album
Mm,
because I couldn't wait. And I actually went to buy that bitch on CD.
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll tell you exactly how that happens because I'm a victim of it myself. I'm a victim of it with movies. I was a victim of it with Fantastic Four, and now I was a victim of it with music. This is how it happens. So Lil Wayne will do the Carter Four, right? And the Carter Four is banging, banging. You're like, oh shit, Lil Wayne is this dude. Then the Carter Five is kind of like, as soon as you put it on, you expecting that Carter Four shit, but you expecting to up the ante. You expecting it to be better, and then it's not. And as soon as you put it on, it's like you're comparing it to the Carter 4, and now it's almost like trash because it ain't as good, right? And then when that artist, so when Lil Wayne dropped the Carter 6, I'm like, okay, Carter 5 was kind of down, Carter 4 was good, Carter 5's kind of down, Carter 6, he knows he's been getting talked bad about, my man getting in the booth, and you get this expectation in your head. And then you listen to it that first time, and if it don't hit you like that, it's like, oh, that shit was bad. You know what I mean? It just comes off like that. And that's
And
where we get fucked up.
And Tyrone, now Tyrone, the flip side of that, right? Me again, I am not a Lil Wayne fan at all. Like we can do a show on I can do a show on how bad I think Lil Wayne is, right? I listened to Carter 6 because everybody was like, oh, you know, when he has that same following as Tupac. It's almost like a feverish, oh, yo, you know, Wayne dropped the album, da, da, da. I listened to that album and I was like, yo, are you fucking kidding? Like this is what y'all talking about? And maybe and I think that because I was such not a fan, my expectations were so low for that album. And it's like it checked off every mark of why I think this dude is not a good rapper. And why
see,
I you know, it's no, yeah, go ahead, Dan.
no, I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies. But
No,
the point that I wanted to go off of that y'all keep saying just now is this is why I tell everybody don't go into anything, especially when we're talking about art like this. You can't go in with expectations. I know it could be hard because of previous yada yada yadas. Supreme Clientele 2 is coming out soon. I guarantee you people are looking for close to what Supreme Clientele was.
yeah,
Ghostface never delivered you the dust head rap. I'm just saying bars just to be saying them because it sounds dope. He didn't give you those on his next projects. Allow art to grow and be differently. This is why, like, I love a Tyler the Creator because he leaves you where you can't go into expectations for shit. Because almost each and every album that he's done, he's on a different wave, a totally different vibe, and then it becomes accept the project for what it is. And then for me, when you listen to that, that's another kid who's never made a bad project because he gives me different feels each and every time. And so when it comes to art like this, it's to me, it only hurts yourself when you go into, oh, I'm expecting Carter 4 Wayne, and then he gives you Donald Trump bars in Carter
Right?
6.
What else? What is
I
the
ain't
thing?
listened to it. I heard about it.
I'm not a big Lil Wayne fan. I thought the Carter 3
no
was a great
rush.
album. I thought the Carter 3 was great. I thought the Carter 4 was pretty good. The Carter 3 and 4, I'll rock those two. After that, I was kind of off Lil Wayne. But my problem with the Carter 6 was that, like he said, it's like a Tupac thing. It's like if I heard that Tupac put out a bad album, that's astonishing to me. So when people were saying Carter 6 was bad, it kind of got into my head like, ain't no way. Lil Wayne been getting talked about. Carter 5 was already down. They've been talking shit about him. Like, ain't no way Carter 6 gonna be bad. Like, if you go put out another album at this point in your career as you Lil Wayne, you gotta be your top-notch #1 dude. And that's what was going through my head. Like, Lil Wayne bad album didn't make sense. Not to me, because I know he got bad albums. But when the people are saying it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And that's what drew me to actually putting the Carter 6 on, was like, I gotta see for myself what's going on with this shit, because it was just put out there that it was so bad.
Yeah. And then that goes into the whole you want to be down with the Joneses conversation of content and stuff like that. And
I
you know,
mean,
I want to spin it. I want to spin it to like I can spin it to why y'all shouldn't be watching WWE anymore. But I understand people, and I'm not going there. I'm just describing because some people just want to be down with the Joneses.
but this is why it works for us to be on this show in general, because I want to be down with the Joneses, because being down with the Joneses is kind of how you don't off put people when you're doing like podcasts and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I agree with everybody. I have some awful takes. I have my own takes. I got my own mind, but I do want to be down with the Joneses because I do want people to be able to watch my podcast and relate to the shit that I'm saying and not think that I'm like trying to be preachy or put my opinions on them and stuff like that. And so, yeah, sometimes, yeah, being down with the Joneses sometimes works for me. You know what I'm saying?
But it works for you all the time. I see your
I'm not
content, bro.
always down with the
But
Joneses.
what I say to down with the Joneses, meaning like this is the big thing, so now everybody's got to talk about the big thing.
Yeah.
Pause. Even though the big thing has enough publicity, why don't you give props to this over here? This is why, like I say, like I should go. Again, I'm not sticking to it. But if you ain't getting your black representation from fucking WWE no more, you ain't getting your Carmelo Hayes and what you go watch Ashe wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
It's blackness. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So that's again, that's where we differ because it's I say it's okay to talk about the alternative. That's why I brought the topic today of like who are people that are lesser talked about, who are lesser known talked about that should be talked about. That's why I brought a topic like that. So we should be allowed to shed light on some shit that not everybody's talking about. Bring up shit that's not everybody's on. I get it the other way around. People talk about and being down with the Joneses type conversations because they want to be in the algorithm.
and then,
They want their thing to be picked up. But it's like, do you really love it or you just doing it to be down with the algorithm?
no, I don't talk about shit I don't love for real. Like if it's something I don't love, I don't really talk about it. Like I talk about WWE, I love it. And when something and when I see what's the algorithm going on, if it's something that I love, that I watch, that I partake in, yeah, I'll talk about it. Like the Marvel, like I don't talk about all these movies people be talking about. Like you never heard me say nothing about Jurassic Park. I'm not into that. I don't watch that, so I don't speak on Jurassic Park. But a Marvel film, I'm into Marvel. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that. That's a hot topic. But you know what pisses me off is when I've been talking about the WNBA for years on my show, and nobody cared. And then as soon as it blew up, I started talking about it, and now people were talking about I jumped on the bandwagon, and it's like I didn't jump on the
Yeah.
bandwagon. I was trying to get y'all on it. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
that's the corny shit. That's the
I
corny
hate
shit.
that.
But yo, before we get out of here though, because that's another thing that we missed, and glad we wasn't there to get hit by it. But last night I seen on the news, they had the face of one of the dildo throwers in in Brooklyn. But yo, y'all thoughts on that disrespectful action that happened in the WNBA?
Um, to be honest, I ain't mad at it. Only simply for the fact that like I don't know. We supposed to be sensitive to women, but they talking like they don't want us to be sensitive to them. So it's like when it's like throwing a dildo on the court, whatever. It's like the same thing when the girl wig came off and they threw those fans off for teasing her about her wig coming off, and I'm like, yo, if that was a man, it wouldn't be no problem. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. Y'all can if y'all want to take stances as like being equal to men, y'all want to be treated like men, y'all want the money to be comparable to the men, y'all want all of these things to be comparable to the men, then like y'all got to take some of that shit too. Like her being teased about her wig coming off, like that's something like when a guy gets shaking out his sneakers and his sneaker rips or something like that, that's shit that, you know, that's part of the game, that shit that's gonna go off on. So a girl's wig coming off, you know, it's like it's funny to me. And it's like I'm not gonna be sensitive to that, you know, because if that happened to a man and he was sensitive to it and he got the players thrown out, we be talking shit about him, he'd be a pussy and all this and all that. So like I'm not sensitive to that. So like, yeah, they throw the dildo on the court. It's disrespectful and it's nasty, but it's funny to me. And I'm like, you should be able to brush that shit off, sort of, kind of, in a sense.
That's what I said. I didn't say all that, but when I seen it, I was just that shit is funny. Ha.
Yeah,
But
it's
mother,
just it's,
that was totally disrespectful though. The level of disrespect that shit was fucking it. That's I mean that's one of those disrespectfuls, but you know
like
some Muttley laugh shit.
But well, hold on. Let me ask y'all a question though, right? So y'all Knicks fans, right? And y'all want to talk about disrespect. Y'all Knicks fans, and y'all found out in an interview that Reggie Miller really felt some type of way about his sister being better than him, right? And then y'all did the sure, and y'all don't find that disrespectful. That man was emotional about that shit. That is the height. That's so disrespectful.
Tyrone, did people throw pocket pussies on the court at Reggie Miller after?
I think that's throwing dildos on. I think that's
Is it
screaming
no?
girls.
Did people throw pocket pussies on the court at Reggie
No,
Miller because of his
no.
they then
But
that's total you're conflating two different things.
no,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not. I'm
Oh,
saying that. I'm saying that throwing something on. I'm saying that throwing a dildo on the court is a level of disrespect. But I'm saying like fucking with somebody's emotions like that is way more disrespectful than throwing something at them. To me,
Hey,
to
listen,
me.
man.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, Curtis. But I'm just saying in general, like disrespect is based on the person, and I think that fucking with Reggie Miller's emotions and screaming "sure" when he's trying to play a basketball game is way more disrespectful. You throw a dildo on the court, they pick it up, they swipe it away. It's like it ain't nothing. That
Now
sure
people don't
shit
forget though.
with my man.
People don't forget.
Who was fucked up about the dildo? Like for real, you really think that some of them women was fucked up about that? To be honest, you really think they was, or they could use it to claim they was fucked up?
no, but it's it's deeper than just thinking that. Like it's the whole connotations of this is a lesbian league, and oh y'all like the plastic meat and this and that, and y'all it's a I'm sorry, it is a deeper
Yeah.
conversation. Again, did I giggle at it? Yes, but I really found that shit highly disrespectful. But did I
I
laugh?
agree.
Yes, I did. I did laugh.
Most most of us
But
chuckles.
in that, yeah, in that laughter, I didn't like fucking fall over like holy shit. I was like, yo.
I equated. I equate it to a bad joke. I equate it to like a distasteful joke. You know what I mean? And that's how I equate it. It's like it's a distasteful joke. It's kind of funny, but you shouldn't have said it. And we move
Yeah, but
on. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but I mean, but oh, you throwing lime green joints like you wanted that bitch to be seen.
Yo, I was gonna say, Tyrone, man, yo, don't forget, man, yo, Luca, was asking for fans to get thrown out too, man. When they was
Yeah.
being disrespectful to him, you know.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
when
know if it was
you
on Lakers or Mavericks, but yeah, nah, man. I mean, yo, like you said, yo, I did the same reaction. I was like, oh shit, like you know, and women wearing wigs is oh man, you know what? Shout out to the women listeners. I'm not touching that one, man. Shout out to the women
no, I'm touching it.
women listeners, man.
No, that's not. Listen, man, that's I don't understand why that's so sensitive. Her wig came off, and the fans gonna, they're gonna make fun of that shit. That shit is funny as hell. So for her to be like, "Oh, I want that fan thrown out," and to be so, it's like, nah, man. If you wear a wig and you don't pin it down right, and that shit fly off in the game, man, you. That's funny, and it's fucked up, and that's
All
something
right,
that people want to talk
my
about.
but
my my
here,
personal opinion. My personal opinion. Women wearing wigs to basketball games is like women wearing makeup to the gym. Like why? You know, but it's is what it is, man.
man,
You
listen, it's I drew a blank. I had a point that I was gonna make, but forget it. I'm I'm done. Oh, you know what to do. Fuck that.
Yes, sir, man. Yo, this was a fun show, man. I talked about topics that I love. You know, it's when it comes to music and me doing homework. This is homework that I don't mind doing, man. You know, listening to some early LP work. You know, after the show. But yeah, man. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to the crew that's here. My boy Dan, my boy Tyrone. Shout out to TJ, who's out enjoying himself. Shout out to my boy Jamal, who is probably not enjoying himself working. You know. Yeah, man, and shout out to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till next week. Pass it off to Tyrone. My fault.
Yeah, can't wait till next week. And I like this show. But I just gotta understand, like we gotta. I don't know. I'm one of those people that can laugh at myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just one of those people. So I may not seem as sensitive to all the things that's going on with everybody else because I laugh at myself all the time. I'm able to take a lot of shit, and I know like when you're doing stuff like sports basketball, even when you're doing stuff like this, like podcasting and stuff, you open yourself up to so much criticism that if you sensitive, you might have to stay in your house, man. That's how I feel. Like you can't even go outside because you're gonna be fucked up. But like I said, shout out to TJ, shout out to Jamal, shout out to Dan. I enjoyed this show, and like I said, I'll always look forward to the next week because I know I do my homework too because I think it's something fucked up to say. For sure.
And once again, what you just said just triggered the point that I drew a blank on. Well, the one thing that we forgot in said conversation is fans need to stop being dicks and need to remember that you're the fan. And just because you paid the ticket to get into the thing doesn't mean you're entitled to stay. And every one of them tickets tell you that if you don't behave yourself, you could get booted at any time and things like that. So I understand the trash talking from a distance, as long as this talk is cool. But once it gets to the level of where a player feels like it's abusive towards them, then I get it. Get the fuck out. Once you get to a certain level of disrespect in what's being said, you got to get the fuck out. But if it's perceived disrespect because again, my level, and then you talk about levels of humor, Tyrone. My man just hit me with this shit the other day. Like, yo, what the fuck? My algorithm, my timeline, my algorithm. You want to get how stupid humor I am? My algorithm will tell some of the story, not all of it. So I love stupid funny. I love dumb shit. One of the greatest things in the world is watching kids fall on video because it's always fucking hilarious. But
I love it too. Like when you said that the WWE could feed you some shit cookies or whatever, and you'll eat them up. You saw me. I will eat them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's bad. Well, I'm never going to eat shit like that. But anyway, but but yeah, no, that was the point I was just trying to make. Is it's like, yeah, okay, you're right. You should be able to be big man and uphold and stay, maintain or be able to take certain criticisms and yada yada yada. But once you get to the levels of disrespect, you gotta fucking go. It's plain and simple. Once you get to the levels of disrespect, you gotta go. And yes, I prefer AEW too, but I prefer a lot of things other than right now. But anyway, 20% off your order, Hooks Rub, 10% off at our affiliates Dubby. I ain't got shit else to ramble. I'll tell y'all off air. My brain has been scrambled. We out. Peace.
Yes, sir.